What's up, everyone? Welcome back to M.A.R.S, your home for everything Storm Arena, Storm Collectibles, and fighting game figures. Now, real collectors know this. The future of Storm Collectibles has been looking uncertain lately. There are fewer releases, longer gaps between announcements, and a community that's wondering if we're witnessing the final era of one of the greatest figure companies ever. So today, I wanted to do something special. Before the story of Storm changes, whether it rises again with Storm Arena or slows down for good, we're looking back at the best Storm Collectibles lines of all time. The lines that built the brand, the lines that changed the 112 game, and the lines that show why Storm became legendary in the first place. Let's get into it. To no surprise, we have to start with Street Fighter V. Not only is this Storm's most recognizable line, it's arguably the line that made Storm Collectibles the brand everyone knows today. When these figures dropped, no one else was doing oversized sculpts, huge muscle work, extreme articulation, and effect parts that look straight out of the video game. Storm took the hyper-stylized look of Street Fighter V and cranked it up to maximum power. Collectors were blown away, reviewers were blown away, and the aftermarket absolutely exploded. Figures like Ryu, Akuma, Bison, and Sagat became instant classics. These weren't just good figures, they were event figures. Drops people waited for, figures people hunted. Street Fighter V proved that Storm wasn't just a toy company, they were a premium fighting game figure powerhouse. And honestly, Storm hasn't stopped flexing since.
Hey, have you heard of this game, Mortal Kombat?
The first time you play it, you just go, this is incredible. It's almost like that barbaric, primal emotion. You're just like, yeah!
The Mortal Kombat Classic line is still one of Storm's most impressive achievements today, and easily one of the community's favorites. If you're from that arcade era, these figures just hit differently. Myself, I am not. If you are, comment below and let us know. Storm nailed that MK look in a way no one else ever has, or probably ever will. Bulky, game-accurate proportions, massive bosses like Goro and Kitano, plus throne pieces that still look insane today. This line is pure, distilled nostalgia, and what makes it so iconic is that MK fits Storm aesthetics perfectly. You want exaggerated muscles? Check. You want brutal posing? Check. You want characters that feel larger than life? Double check. Shao Kahn alone is one of the greatest 112 villain figures ever released. MK Classic is Storm Collectibles at their absolute peak, and the aftermarket prices prove it. As of today, the Mortal Kombat license is no longer held by Storm Collectibles, as they did lose it 2 years ago, which is of course unfortunate for Mortal Kombat. Every nation bows down to him. He can turn coal into diamonds with his bare hands. He is the ogre. If there's one line that screams Storm Collectibles energy, it's Baki. These figures are insane in the best way possible. They're exaggerated, they're wild, they're gritty, they're pure chaos. And that's exactly why fans love them. The muscle distortion, the intense faces, the dramatic shading. Storm fully embraced the over-the-top Baki style. Yujiro Hanma alone looks like he's made out of pure rage and protein powder. This is Storm doing what no one else even attempts, a revolutionary line. And we now know this line, along with others, is one with Storm Collectible figures and Storm Arena figures. There are over 20 different action figure lines coming from Storm Collectibles. We've gone over the first 3 that I believe are what makes Storm Collectibles great. But which one is the best line coming out of Storm Collectibles? Well, we're about to get into that. But before we do, first, let's take a look at some honorable mentions. The first line that I want to mention is going to be the one that got me into Storm Collectibles to begin with. That, of course, is the Tekken line. Unfortunately, this line did not perform as well as I would have loved it, because we don't have any more characters or releases in sight. Though Storm Collectibles still holds the Bandai license, there are no updates as of right now. Hopefully things will change with Storm Arena, but for me, the one to start it all was with Kazuya Mishima. Unfortunately, my copy did suffer from the tight joints and squeaky noise, but this is the figure that got me into Storm Collectibles. Another line I feel like we need to talk about is going to be Kengan Ashura. If you've seen the anime, then you know how amazing this series is. However, this line again was cut short with Storm Collectibles. Omaha was an absolutely stunning figure, one of my favorite reviews I've ever done for Storm Collectibles. We also have Kirei as well, both of which are great figures. Having interchangeable torsos, that was a very new mechanic for Storm Collectibles. We were teased to have Nico, but unfortunately that figure was never released. Hopefully we will see this line again in Storm Arena. And for our final line that I believe should be mentioned, it is going to be Soul Calibur. These two figures are absolutely amazing. Great figures, great line, just another unfortunate event of being cut way too soon. So I hope we see this return. Whether it's Storm Collectibles or Storm Arena, I hope we get more Soul Calibur. We've made it this far to the end, and this is going to be Storm Collectibles' best line of all time. King of Fighters 98 Unlimited Match. If you have not been following the channel, then please do so, because we've got some amazing reviews of these figures. Not all of them, but a vast majority. This line is the only line of Storm Collectibles that featured a reissue. That, of course, being for Iori and for Terry Bogard, both of which was released in the past few years. I believe it was 2023 to be exact. That was unheard of, because once Storm Collectibles sold out, they were gone. You didn't have a chance. It was the aftermarket prices at $300 to $400, maybe even $200 if you're lucky. But this was the first turnaround for Storm Collectibles, offering a reissue for 2 items. Would have been great to get more, but at least this was the line that showed me Storm Collectibles highly enjoys King of Fighters. We've got a nice array of figures, a nice array of accessories to go with those figures, decent pricing, iconic characters. There's so much to love with this line, and that is why I'm giving this the best Storm Collectible line of all time. Please comment below and let me know, what do you think is the best Storm Collectibles action figure line of all time? Stay tuned, we've got much more to cover, and until then, we'll see you next time. Peace.